All right. Moving from mid-table to the top of the table.
Yes. Manchester City 1-0 winners against Chelsea in the rematch of the UEFA Champions League final last year.
Wow, I forgot about that.
What do we have to say about City's performance? Because let me preface this. Last episode, we were kind of talking about City tying with Southampton. It's not looking good. They're not as good. Chelsea are the favorites. And they go to Stamford Bridge, and they absolutely put on a masterclass and beat Chelsea, who have been unstoppable this season. What does this say about Manchester City?
Yeah. I actually woke up and watched this game. It was at 4:30 a.m.
4:30 games.
4:30 a.m. I watched all of it. City were dominant. I was really shocked. Just looking at the XG stats, I always like to look at them after the games just to see how, kind of like what the pace of play was like, because you could watch it one way and then kind of forget about chances anyways. City had 1.7 expected goals to 0.2 expected goals for Chelsea. So the expected goals and also just watching it both kind of point towards City dominating. I think they played Foden as their number 9, right? And a false 9 role.
False 9 Foden.
Yeah. He was, it was interesting. Like, I thought, City just had a lot of the ball, and as a result, they're going to create chances, all those playmakers. But yeah, City were great.
I had rewatched the first half, and then I had seen the rest as highlights pretty much. I thought, City were really, really good. City just pressed so well.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea couldn't get out. Bernardo Silva looked like he was playing as like a midfielder and like a midfield 2 with Rodri. He kept coming and getting the ball. He looked like David Silva or like a left-footed Iniesta. He just looked so good getting the ball right there and breaking Chelsea's press. I don't know what they do tactically, Tuchel and Pep, but going back and forth, it's really fun watching their teams, even though it's usually like a 1-0 or a 0-0.
Right.
It's just high press a lot of the times. And both of their both like Jorginho and Edouard Mendy. On the other side, you have, I guess, Ruben Diaz and Ederson. All their players in the back for Chelsea and for Manchester City are so composed and so calm on the ball with that high pressure. It was fun, but I think Pep got the best of Tuchel in this game because City really dominated.
I have to say, it's really incredible watching Pep Guardiola and Tuchel go against each other like we saw in the Champions League final, like we saw today. And I think what we have to really realize is how good Manchester City really are.
Yes.
Like, their quality
They're
today was
incredible.
immense. Going to Stamford Bridge, which everyone that has gone there literally has just been getting slapped up like 3 or 4-0. And Chelsea just cruised. They haven't even played like to their full potential. And Manchester City went in there calm, collected, and put on a show. And I think the crazy thing about Guardiola, and it's something that like, a lot of people talk about, but it's really true, is the fact that like they're able to, like, their best way of defending is just keeping the ball. And I think they really put a masterclass in that today.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping the ball away from Chelsea, holding it, making sure that, they can keep in possession, like making the right passes, making the right runs, having a false 9 without Harry Kane, without a proven number 9, no Sergio Aguero. And wow, what a performance that they put on. Chelsea literally made Tottenham and Arsenal and even Liverpool look very shambolic at times. But Manchester City went in there with a point to prove, especially after the loss in the Champions League. And they showed how great they were and why they were champions last year.
I agree. I think Mason Mount and Pulisic were both out for this game. And I think Chelsea really missed kind of their Mason Mount, Kai Havertz duo behind Lukaku. I think they played Lukaku and Timo Werner next to each other. And I think Werner was really good, like running him behind and actually getting the ball and running at defenders. I always think he does that really well. But I don't know. They just missed an outlet. They missed kind of a way to get out. And I think Mason Mount is underrated and kind of breaking the press. Even like the goal, I think the goal in the FA Cup semifinal against Manchester City, Mason Mount and Timo Werner kind of broke the press themselves, and then they combined for the goal. Or someone else was on the end of the goal. But,
Yeah.
Mason Mount is really, really important for Chelsea, and I think they missed him today. And I think Tuchel had made a substitution bringing on Kai Havertz, so there was more of a front 3 rather than the front 2. And I think Chelsea played a little bit better, but overall, Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, even just like the individual quality of Manchester City is impeccable. It's still incredible, and it gets underrated because we see them do the same thing every year. They've averaged like 90-something points in the last 4 years, which is insane.
Is he better than Jurgen Klopp? I know we were talking about it last week. Jurgen Klopp being the best manager in Europe.
I know we talked about it last week. I think because I was thinking about it more and listening to more podcasts. There's a YouTube channel called The Football Daily that me and Chasen watch.
Yes.
And they have a podcast which I really, really like. It's called The Football Daily, Sunday Vibes Extra Time, something like that.
Yeah.
And they were talking about who has the most quality in their starting 11. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester City.
Mhm.
And they kind of agreed on Liverpool just because, like, their fullbacks and Van Dijk and Alisson is arguably the best in the world. And then Mane and Salah. Man for man, they have a really good starting 11. But I think Jurgen Klopp always kind of has a plan A, but rarely kind of has a plan B. And Pep and Tuchel seem like they have a plan A, plan B,
Plan
Plan
C.
C.
Yeah.
Tuchel especially. So I honestly think Pep is still might be the best, but I think Tuchel and Pep are probably top 2.
So we're going with Pep.
No, I still think it's Klopp. I think it's infinitely easier to win at Manchester City than it is at Liverpool, because City have an unlimited budget. There's no pressure from the fans because they don't have any. And yeah, I mean, mostly it's the money, but also the fans. Like, it's just infinitely it's infinitely easier to win at City than it is at Liverpool. Like, Liverpool's a huge club, a lot of pressure, big history. To step into the manager's shoes there is a big deal, and it's really hard to win there because their board just, like, they spend money more like Tottenham and even like a Leicester or an Everton than they do like the top 3 clubs like a United, a Chelsea, a City, or even Arsenal. Arsenal spent a lot of money this past summer. Like, Liverpool doesn't spend that type of money. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Klopp.
But yeah, I think I agree with that too. I think it's definitely difficult to win at Liverpool as a manager, especially with the expectations that he had.
Right.
I guess not. I guess he was just in a difficult place, but
especially the
anyway.
situation he came into.
Well,
That
I mean,
team
yeah, the situation
that
was
team
difficult.
was in shambles when he stepped into the manager.
that was a really bad team.
Exactly. And, like, there's no pressure at City. There's no fans. There's no history. So, like, it really doesn't even matter.
But yeah, going back to the game, I think City are still probably favorites for the title.
Yeah, I mean, maybe my prediction's looking pretty good from the beginning of the season, saying City were going to win it. I need to stop changing. I just need to stick with my picks.
Yeah, it's okay. We can change every week.
I really got to say that City, I was super impressed. I was so impressed by how good they were, by how great they moved the ball today. The way that they move the ball, they're probably one of the most fun teams to watch when it comes to just like passing, dribbling. It is so good the way that they do things. And I was just really, I just really, really thought that they were amazing.